Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Hannah.
Brandon's just telling me some really fucked up shit and then starting the podcast. So
It
I
wasn't
laugh.
fucked up. It's just not what you're expecting to hear.
Not what I was expecting to hear.
How's everyone doing? Welcome to GhostWritten.
See, I was thinking about this today. I was like, you know what? We really need an intro. And I was like, wait, we have an intro. It plays every episode. And I was like, why are we so concerned about telling you we're ghostwritten? You just listened to Brandon's badass little intro that says, welcome to ghostwritten.
It does, doesn't it?
It does, because I wrote that shit.
I listen to it every time, like, because I try to pick the correct spot to have our talking start.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know it so well now that I don't even think about what it says, you know?
Yep. So it already says it. We're always so concerned. It's like, nope, we already said
You know
that.
what you're fucking listening to.
Yes, fine. You clicked on it.
Hope y'all are doing well. Hope it's starting to warm up in wherever you are in the world. Sorry, Australians, it's about to be winter there, right? Isn't that how that works?
Listen, like it actually gets cold there, so what the fuck ever.
But
bitches still wearing flip flops to the beach.
Here in Kentucky, the pussy willows are blooming. Spring is in the air.
I'm not even convinced that's a pussy willow outside your window. I think you just like saying pussy willow.
All these little white trees are pussy willows. Well, they're not little, they're fucking huge, but
they are huge. At least they're not Bradford pears, though.
I found this really cool TikTok that I started following the other day that shows you like all the different stuff that is blooming and what time of year it is, so that you can like forage and shit like that. Yeah,
that's lovely.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of nettles growing outside that you can make tea out of.
You sure can, and it's really good for you. Do love nettle tea. Nettles not native. They came over on boats from Scotland.
Not to be confused with stinging nettles, which are a cousin of nettles and also can be eaten in salad once they're cooked.
You have to cook them though, because they will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Welcome to GhostWritten, the foraging podcast.
Welcome to Nature Written.
Listen, one of these days, me and Brandon are gonna have a freaking greenhouse. We're gonna grow herbs.
We're gonna be kitchen witches. It's basically gonna be practical magic.
Yes, midnight margaritas at our place. That's the fucking dream, dude. For real.
Also,
quit my job and grow herbs.
You know what I want to do? I just want to bake fresh bread.
I love to bake fresh
bread. I want to be that
Let's
person.
make some bread together.
Let's do it.
I used to make us bread all the time. Listen, we can't do it very often. We've got the diabetes.
That's true. And
but
also,
man, it's delicious.
And the kind of bread that I'm craving it definitely wouldn't be the best. Okay, so listen, my grandparents on my dad's side live in London, and they live in this kind of rural part of it close to the lake.
That's there. London, Kentucky, guys.
Yeah. not London, England. And I spent a lot of time there growing up, like at my grandparents' house on the weekends, and they had this neighbor. So they had a couple neighbors who, like, one of them had bees, so they would always have like fresh honey. And one of them always baked them bread. Now, my mama always called it sourdough. However, it was sweet. It was not sour, because I've had sourdough as an adult, which I also like. But
so I bet it was like Amish friendship bread, because it also has a starter like sourdough, but is a sweet bread.
Let me tell you,
have like some cinnamon in it.
There was absolutely nothing like going to my grandma's house, waking up in the morning. She's made eggs, bacon, and toast out of this sweet bread, and she's put honey and butter on it. Ugh.
I bet you money it's Amish friendship bread. But like when you make a starter, when you give somebody a loaf of bread, you give them part of your starter. Like you split your starter and give it to them. and then they're supposed to split their starter and give it to somebody
It's
else,
like the
and then they've
yeast.
got starter for so it's usually like a wild yeast. That's how sourdough's made too.
That's cool though that
But
that
then
makes
you
sense
add
that it's
sugar
called
and cinnamon.
friendship
Yeah,
bread.
it's really good. Me and my friends did it in high school because like that's what kind of kid I was in high school.
I don't remember it having a cinnamon taste. I just remember it being sweet, but like not overly sweet. I just
I bet
remember
that's what it was though, and they might not have added the cinnamon
I just remember it
just because
being
it's
the perfect toast bread. Like it was perfect.
yeah. Yeah, I like sourdough. I don't know if I'd want to make sourdough with a wild yeast around here because city, but like if I could get a
Yeast.
place out in the country, I would
I
make
thought
my
you
own.
said weast. Um also I do apologize for last episode, you guys. That night after we did the podcast, I had the absolute worst pain from my teeth that I had the entire like recovery process, and I felt really, really, really shitty. So doing a lot better this week. So
Brandon's a hot mess.
Hot Mess Express.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like the Hogwarts Express, but it takes you to my hometown.
Rural Kentucky.
Yeah, southeastern Kentucky.
Lord. I'm glad you feel better. You were worrying me.
Thank you. No,
You got that sweet, sweet husband though to take care of you, so I wasn't too worried about you.
Yeah, he's the best. He's great. And not expecting to have like 2 different episodes of like feeling like shit. He's a trooper for taking care of me.
Yeah, I was like, Brandon, do you want me to make you some soup? Are you okay? And he's like, I have a husband. I was like, oh yeah, never mind. Like, you're fine.
Well, I didn't mean to say it that way. I just meant that
That's fine.
he was
Listen,
taking
if
good
I
care
ever
of me.
get sick and need soup, I'm gonna need you guys to make me some soup though, because Tyler can't cook.
We'll make you the sausage and kale potato soup. The next time we make that, you guys need to come over though, for sure.
Okay, just let me know. Literally 2 minutes away, even though we're doing the Zoom call right now.
Well, okay. One reason for that is with this new bedroom setup, there is no way that we could both sit here and record. Like, there's no way. I can't even put a chair next to this chair. So you could like sit on the bed and like yell over my shoulder, but it would be not ideal.
And just stand over you.
It's just anytime you want to talk to the mic, you just like put your face next to my face.
Open my pop right beside the mic again.
Yeah. Have you
listen, we're gonna get a setup. That's our next goal.
Yeah.
To get a setup to where we can like sit together on the couch and record.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah, I don't think it would be too difficult for us to find some stands that are portable that we could just like sit up, and then, but also you guys have to realize we're not experts at recording audio.
Oh no, not at all.
And whenever you record audio independently of video, you have to sync them up. That's the whole, like, that's like when they do movies and they do the little action thing. That is a starting point for them to set the audio and video together.
We don't do that.
Yeah, and we don't have any mixing equipment or anything like that, and that's something that we're going to have to learn. So just bear with us. We will have a little more professional setup at some point, but it's going to take a minute to get off the Hot Mess Express.
Right. We've been a little bit of a mess for a while. Look, we got 2 weeks in a row though.
Hey, you wanted it.
Nobody said anything, but
yeah, I don't know if you guys did want it. I assume you did. We still got those likes coming in on Facebook, so
confused. I don't know you people.
but welcome regardless. Have you gotten a chance to indulge in any creepy stuff this week, or
not really. I've just been catching up on stuff as episodes come out, like lore and Red Web. which was cool because this week's episode of Red Web was about the public library in Evansville being haunted.
Indiana.
And my dad used to live there, so like I immediately texted him. I was like, please tell me you went to the library in Evansville. He was like, of course I went to the library in Evansville, because that's like part of my love of books. His dad always did libraries and books and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm listening to a podcast episode about it, and apparently it's haunted, and their like ghost hunters apparently went, and he said it had one of the creepiest sounding staircases he's ever been on. But it was a really cool place because it's like an old Gothic building.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was like, that was pretty cool that I had a connection with that.
I saw one that I need to follow up on because I only saw like the episode, like, or the podcast like card or whatever thumbnail, but it was about like mysteries of like national parks, and I'm like,
National Park After Dark.
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
It's
I
so
love that
good.
shit.
I love it.
So I haven't
really
listened to
good.
it yet. I'm just saying like that, like missing 411 type shit.
Yeah.
I love that.
The girls that do it are also like hikers and stuff, and they go to national parks all the time. So it's
Hell
not
yeah.
just like people like me that don't hike. We're talking about some freaking national parks.
I want to be a person who hikes. The times that I hike, I really enjoy it. It just takes a lot.
Past the asthma attack.
Yeah, well, it just takes a lot to motivate yourself. It's like getting to the gym, you know. Like once you get
we also
there,
don't live super close to anything like that. So
true, that's fair.
like when we were younger, lived really close to Daniel Boone National Park, so like we went there all the time. We went hiking, but
I literally grew up in the Daniel Boone National Forest. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I did some hiking as a holler rat. It just was walking barefoot up the hills.
So that's just all we did. We just ran around in the woods.
Yeah.
That counts, right? Shooting your cousins with BB guns in the woods.
Sure. Yeah, sure. It doesn't not count.
That's true.
What have you got for us this week?
You know what I've got for us this week. Our lovely friends that we love dearly and are great supporters of our podcast. The husband texted Brandon and I the other day and was like, be jealous. We are in the most haunted city in the US, in one of the most haunted buildings, seeing MCR.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And Brandon, I'm sure, was immediately seething because we knew nothing about this before they went.
I was jealous. I was happy for them, but also jealous.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you bitch. That's so rude. So rude. So, most haunted city in the US is Savannah, Georgia. Most haunted building is the Moon River Brewing Company.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, same friends sent pictures of the Mercer Williams house, which we've done an episode on, and I was like, that's wild. Obviously we realize that these places that we talk about are real places, but to have like a personal connection to a place that like we know this lore about is pretty cool.
They're good spooky friends that actually go places.
Listen, when I take my trip out of the country later this year, you best believe I'm hitting up some haunted shit.
Yeah, you are. And you're gonna take pictures and you're gonna tell us about it. This summer's recording might get a little interesting for a couple weeks.
Oh well,
we'll figure it out.
Maybe
I was like, hey Tyler, you want to record with me? And he's like, I guess if you need me to.
Yeah,
I said, do you want to, you bitch?
Or you can have Phoebe back on. Who knows?
Yeah, the Phoebes.
We love her.
Love that bitch.
Shout out Phoebe.
Love her. She's the best. Okay, so we're going over the Moon River Brewing Company. They have not always been the Moon River Brewing Company. We're going to go over their history a little bit from their own website.
That is a cool name, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful building, too. It's gorgeous. So it says it's housed in one of the oldest, most historic, and genuinely haunted buildings in Savannah. We invite you to experience the history and our excellent food and handcrafted beers firsthand.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to figure out how their beer was when they get back. It's all started with Elazar Early. Elazar Early. That's a dude's name. A native of Charleston, South Carolina, who built our building as the City Hotel in 1821. Not only was it the first hotel in Savannah, but it was also home to the first branch of the United States Post Office in Savannah. It also served as a branch of the Bank of the United States. So it must have been convenient having a hotel, post office, bank, and bar all under one roof.
Yeah.
During the hotel's tenure, many notable people stayed at the hotel. The guests include War of 1812 hero Winfield Scott, the Marquis de Lafayette, the first three Commodores of the United Statues Navy. Okay. I don't know if they meant to say states. I think there's a U in there that shouldn't be. And naturalist James Audubon. Audubon stayed 6 months at the hotel while attempting to sell books of his wildlife sketches.
Is he the one they named the
Audubon Society after? Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
In 1851, Peter Wiltberger bought the City Hotel. He renovated it and put a live lion and lioness on display to draw attention to his business.
All right, original Joe Exotic. That's cool.
The City Hotel's final guest checked out in 1864, just before, this is a little fucked up, just before General Sherman during the War of Northern Aggression and the subsequent closing of the hotel. By War of Northern Aggression, they mean the Civil War.
Right. Oh, God.
I read that and I was like, oh no. Oh no. At the turn of the century, the building was used as a lumber and coal warehouse. As the use for coal slowly died off, the building was used as general storage. In the 1960s, the space was renovated as office supply store, complete with large printing press. The building sat empty until 1995, when it was renovated into its current configuration as a brew pub. The Moon River Brewing Company debuted in its space on April 10th, 1999, and welcomes all who pass by. So there's their little just general history.
Okay. Is this from their website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we'll go to the more fucked up history. And this is from nightlyspirits.com.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let me see here because it's really long. And I don't want to tell you all the other stuff that I just told you. Okay, so notably, the hospital was also used many times, or the hotel was used as a hospital many times during the yellow fever outbreaks. So it was the upper floors that were used as the hospital, and lots and lots of children died there.
God. What exactly was the yellow fever?
So like the flu, kind of?
Because I know there's like scarlet fever. You know, I don't know if those are different.
Was it a mosquito thing?
Ooh, I think you're right.
Check it out.
Like maybe
I think it's a mosquito thing, which makes sense why it happened so bad in the American South. Because oh, buddy, do we got mosquitoes?
Yep, mosquito bites. You're right. Mm-hmm. Apparently, it's still a thing.
Oh. It's estimated hundreds of people, mostly children, died on the upper floors of the building during these outbreaks. Okay. So it's talking about just how people think that ghosts are formed, usually by tragic deaths, and how a lot of those children dying are pretty tragic.
Mm-hmm.
So more vindictive act of violence that happened in this building, includes the shooting of a known town vagrant. In 1832, a doctor by the name of Philip Minus shot a drunk man named James Stark inside the hotel. So James Stark was apparently running his mouth and saying some rather anti-Semitic things to this Jewish doctor. The doctor later claimed that Mr. Stark reached for a gun and he pulled his own gun and shot him. But he was acquitted, so they're like, you're fine. But I mean, he also killed a man that everybody in the town hated.
Right.
And he regularly harassed. And he's the town's doctor, so.
Right. So it's like, who you know, is it really worth it?
Yeah, right. One of the biggest acts of violence that occurred in the walls of the brewery took place in 1860. The Civil War had not yet started, but there was already a clear hatred of Yankees in Georgia. A Yankee by the name of James Sinclair came into town and decided to stay at the city hotel. The residents of Savannah were furious at the thought of having a Yankee in their midst. The people of Savannah tried to pressure Sinclair into leaving of his own accord, but he refused. The anger and hate of the Yankee in town were enough to cause a mob to form in the streets of Savannah.
Damn.
The lynch mob marched through the city and into the hotel. They dragged Sinclair into the streets outside the building where they stripped and beat him. Sinclair lived through the incident but was beaten near enough to the point of death that the violent experience might have caused him to come back and haunt where his tragedy took place.
Damn. That's a unique kind of scenario I hadn't really thought about.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, from everything that I've read, he was really just flaunting the fact that the South was stupid.
Right.
Like, you need to pick your audience for these things, buddy, and maybe don't vacation in the South whenever
you
we're
are
on the brink of war.
Or at least don't go around saying that, like,
right.
Keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah. So they say that every floor of the building is haunted. So we're going to start with the basement.
Ooh.
Starting at the bottom of things means beginning with the ghosts that haunt the basement of the Moon River Brewing Company. Arguably the most famous ghost of the brewing company is named Toby and is often seen wandering around the basement. This is one of the ghosts that the staff saw often enough that they decided he deserved a name. The basement is widely regarded as the most active floor of the brewery. It might not have the feeling of the top floor or the violent history of the other floors, but it certainly has the most ghost encounters. Toby is known to brush up against the people playing in the billiards room or get frustrated and push them. There are a few people that would tell you that slaves were kept in the basement, which would certainly be a reason for a haunting, but there's no evidence to this. Still, the basement is where the most people have experienced a paranormal experience, and therefore definitely worth visiting if you want a good scare. People who have been in the basement of the brewery have reported many different signs of a haunting. These signs include sudden coldness, bottles falling or being thrown, and the feeling of being touched by someone who's not there. All of these reports are from patrons and staff. The main floor. The main floor of the brewery is also known for having many strange occurrences. This is the floor where James Stark was shot by Dr. Minus. There are different reports of where exactly the shooting took place, but they all seem to agree it was somewhere on the main floor. Many people believe that Stark is the reason that many people report liquor bottles being thrown. There are also those who believe he is the reason for some of the more violent reports of grabbing, hitting, and pushing people experience while inside the brewery. Several women have complained of feeling cold in the bathroom or being locked into a stall.
Ooh.
No fucking thanks.
Ooh.
Third floor. The top two floors are known to have more violent encounters than those happen in the basement or even the main floor. A full body apparition is known as the Woman in White and has been seen on the third floor several times by many different people. She is one of the most well-known ghosts of the brewery and is sometimes referred to as Mrs. Johnson.
Oh. I wonder where they're pulling these names from.
I don't know. Maybe they just thought the ghost in the basement seemed like a Toby.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit of backstory about Toby.
No, there's nothing, but that's where everybody experiences things. The third floor is also one of the floors where many children died of yellow fever. This means it's no surprise that many workers and patrons have reported hearing children talking and playing on this floor. When even the people who run the brewery talking about hearing children running in the halls, it's got something going on.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1990s, there was construction being done on the third floor. During this time, the wife of the foreman was pushed down the stairs on the third floor and fell all the way down the staircase.
Holy shit.
She was shoved hard enough that it was clear that she had not simply just fallen. The foreman immediately stopped construction on the building and left. Several
Smart
other
guy.
people reported feeling strained, people pulling on them or pushing them when they walk on the stairs. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And then we're at the top floor of the brewery. It's a big ass brewery. The final floor of the brewery has been said to have a dark energy that the other floors do not possess. This could be because the majority of yellow fever victims and patients were housed on this floor while the building was being used as a hospital. The victims of the terrible virus might still be trapped, feeling the hopelessness they felt moments before they died. That's fucked up. Interestingly, there are not many reports of actual activity on this floor. There's so many reports of the other floors that almost everyone who's been to the brewery has different paranormal experience. Yet the top floor is where hundreds died and is known for its terrible energy. But they also get the same stories of children playing on the fourth floor and all the sounds of kids. So yeah, they do ghost tours. There are a crap ton of ghost tours in Savannah because Savannah is super haunted. I can't wait for our friends to tell us more about this.
Oh, same.
Because the wife is super intuitive about these things, and I'd love to know if they made it to the other floors and what she felt.
Ooh.
Yeah, super excited.
We
had to talk about it this
we
week.
all need to take like a ghost trip at some time. Like
God,
we really need to do. Yeah.
It'd be so much fun. We
Yeah.
should do it at Savannah because that place is freaking nuts.
Hell
and
yeah.
then there's that song about Hannah being a vampire from Savannah.
Hey.
It's called Hard-Hearted Hannah.
That's the place she finally reveals herself to us and murders us all, like because she's been playing the long game.
I just run around and like hide around corners and hiss.
She's already 500 years old, so the 15 years that we've known each other is just a blink, you know.
Yeah. This lovely pale skin.
Have I ever seen you outside in the daytime? I'm trying to think.
Probably not. And if I do, I use an umbrella. It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. We're talking about going to Florida with Tyler's family this summer, and I was like, I'm gonna need an umbrella with some serious protection.
A parasol.
Listen, I will get a frilly goth parasol. I'll do it. I use my umbrella all the time, and people stare at me, but guess what? You got a sunburn, and I don't.
Exactly. Fuck y'all.
We got real redneck and like laid in a kiddie pool in our friend's front yard. I had my umbrella, and me and Tyler didn't get sunburns. Everybody else got sunburns. Judge me all you want.
The long game, I'm telling you.
I'm real pasty. I don't tan, guys. The Irish and Scottish is real hard over here.
That is fascinating, though. It's weird to me that I'd never heard about that place. You know?
Right? So I was listening to videos of the place today while I was working, and so like the BuzzFeed went, of course. And sorry, there's somebody knocking on my door. My husband will get that. We're having a repair guy here. But I was listening to these videos, and there is a video that a local news channel did. And you could tell that the staff was not prepared for the news channel to come because the one staff member that they interviewed was trashed.
Nice.
And he was one of those really drunk people trying to pretend that he's not drunk. But like there's some serious slurring going on. I think it was around Halloween because he had like a skeleton shirt on.
That's the best.
So it was like, he's like, yeah, I was in the basement with my friend and there's something happened over there. I was like, oh buddy, you are so drunk. Somebody should have told you that this was happening tonight. Or you just didn't care, which is
maybe they did, and he has like terrible stage fright, and he was like, "I have to do something."
Yeah, he was trashed. I'll send you the video because it's so funny. But yeah, I'd never heard of it either until my friend texted us, rubbing it in.
Of course, they went to a fucking haunted brewery of all the places.
Probably for their anniversary, because their anniversary was last week. So
Yeah, because our pictures popped up on Facebook from where
Yeah.
we were at the wedding.
It's when me and Brandon started our ghost hunting.
Our very exclusive club.
We're Leeseman squared. Because we both had the same middle and last name at the time. Yeah.
Rip. Those were the days.
I know. Then we had to get married. Now I share the same middle and last name with my husband.
Cue the banjos.
Right. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
But yeah, we, as always, are asking you guys to please submit your stories to us. We know they're out there. We know that everyone has a story or an experience or some type of thing that they couldn't explain, and that's what we're asking for. We want to hear that shit. Because you know what? Other people want to hear it. So
they really do. Everybody loves the listeners' stories episodes.
Everyone likes sitting around a campfire and telling scary stories. It's the best. Or, that point in like the sleepover where everybody starts talking about like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So please send us
the shit out of each other.
Shit. You can send us your stories at either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, where we are at GhostWritten Pod, or you can email us, and that is ghostwrittenpodcast@gmail.com. And get that shit in, because we enjoy doing the listener stories and you guys like hearing them. So with that, I think you know what time it is.
Spooky noises.